Hello, everyone. My name is Bethel Barr. I am a spiritual leader, teacher. I am an awake, fully conscious individual working towards the complete liberation of our planet and humanity, freedom from the controlling force that has been manipulating us for thousands of years. And then I began to think about the ways that we are being manipulated and controlled. I began to think about the programming that we endure constantly from outside of our lives, like the media, movies, television, all of those avenues that work towards controlling us. And I decided I wanted to explore the word sin. That's what this video and blog is about, is this word and how it affects, how that belief affects our forward movement in this lifetime, how it affects our consciousness, how it affects our way of life, that belief in sin. So I chose to explore, what is sin? What is it? What is it? And because I don't own any religious books or texts, I had to use the internet for some research. And what I found on the internet as explanations of what sin is are as follows. A human is born a sinner. Original sin is part of humanity. A sin is trying to conform the laws of God, transgression against the will of God, violation of the will of God. And then I found that there are various kinds of sin. I just thought sin was sin, but there are different kinds of sin according to these religious teachings that I found online. And there's mortal sin, which is a sin that if one commits this particular sin, whatever it may be, causes a complete separation from God. Then there's venial or venial sin, which is a sin as well, but a type of sin, but it just harms our connection to God, according to this research that I did. And there's original sin, which goes back to Adam and Eve, and that's another topic that I won't explore today. I will some other time. And then there's actual sin. And I do not know what actual sin is. But reading these descriptions caused me to wonder how a person that has a belief in sin and these sins, how does one go through the day without feeling the emotions of guilt, fear, and shame? I would think it's almost impossible, because feeling that whatever we do may be a sin and constantly striving to avoid that would be a little stressful, I guess. Negative emotions are detrimental to forward movement in evolution. And we are programmed from birth. We are manipulated from birth through various avenues. They are the mainstream media, movies, television, even songs, and organized religion. This programming begins at birth in some families, and it's very difficult for one to break away from that programming when one is taught from birth that this is the way things are. Now, those descriptions of sin to me cause guilt, shame, and fear. And those three are the three worst emotions that a soul can feel and experience on this planet if they want to move forward in evolution. They are the most harmful to forward movement. And this dark controlling force that we've been living under have infiltrated every organization on our planet. And one of them is organized religion. It is their greatest tool to control humanity. And they control us through guilt, fear, and shame. Now, some religions teach that there is forgiveness of sins. There are various beliefs in God, of what God is, and punishment and sin and God is love and light, source energy. There's many names for this great being. In many, each religion seems to have their own name for God. Source, prime creator. This great being, this oneness of all that is an energy of light and love. It is total energy of light and love. We, as souls, are all sparks of this great consciousness. Each one of us is a child of God. We are replicas of our Creator. We hold within us. It's like, you could think of it like our Creator is the ocean and we are all individual drops. We contain the same elements as our Creator. We are all children of God. That great being does not judge. That great being does not punish. That great being does not forgive. There's nothing to forgive. When someone doesn't judge or God doesn't judge, what is there to forgive? We have been given free will when our soul was first cast. This gift of free will from our Creator. We are sent out as souls, sparks of God, to experience existence in all forms and realities. In that way, God experiences itself through us. Prime Creator experiences itself through us. Our task is to do our best as an incarnated soul to go through a lifetime staying in the higher vibrations of love, compassion, understanding, and acceptance. We do falter sometimes, we do stumble. And that is when we feel the emotions of guilt, fear, shame, jealousy, greed, anger, anxiety, stress. All are detrimental, excuse me, to forward movement in evolution and the ascension process. Our goal is to treat another with kindness. And when we do anything less than that, we do incur negative energy. What energy we send out to the universe is what comes back to us. It's the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect. What you send out, you get back. So when we send out negative emotions with our feelings, our hearts, our mind, we then, if we harm another, we then are responsible for those thoughts and emotions, no one else. We alone are responsible for our thoughts, deeds, and emotions. There's no punishment. What happens is that there are negative results that we brought on ourselves through the law of attraction. We sent out negativity, we get back negativity. That is the so-called punishment. That is the only punishment. And it's not punishment. It's negative results that we have incurred through our law, our free will. Sometimes when we create negative energy with another person, it's karmic. It's a karma that has to be balanced and cleared before we can move on. And once we go home, once we're finished and we drop this physical body, we realize what we've realized and seen, the life we've lived. And then we say, okay, we incurred that negative karma and we would like to balance that and clear it. So then you make the agreements with others and look after that your next lifetime. There is no punishment. Our Creator does not punish. Our Creator creates and is love, light, and that's it. Now, my last blog was about loosh. Now, these negative emotions that we create can be called loosh, which there are dark entities that feed on that, and that is in my other blog. So living in love and moving forward is what each incarnated soul aspires to do. That's what we came here for. That's what we want to do. We forget our roots. We forget where we're from. We forget why we're here. So then our job is to try and remember that. We are beings of light and love. We are a child of God. So that's all I have for you today. I hope this is helpful to some, to anyone. And I hope it clears up. Maybe helps one who is fearful of sin. There is no sin. There just is no sin. It is something that has been programmed into us as a control method. There is no sin. And that's all I have for you today. Farewell.